from the Isle of Misfit Toys, just outside the 313. This is the Deployed from Detroit School of Leadership and Madness. A first-hand account of embracing the suck.
Oh, this is weird. This is too goddamn weird. Skulls and bones for me. And nowhere there's no
But this is the Deployed. Yeah, a little bit of stutter there. Stuttering Stanley. Stop it, Stanley. So anyway, this is Deployed from Detroit School of Leadership and Madness. Because why the fuck not? Oh, sorry, Mom, Dad, and everybody else. But this here on the other end is Gunny Hodge. He may want to give himself some better credentials than that.
Well, I'll go first.
Yeah, man.
Before you do, Steve, because you have to introduce yourself as well. But I'm Gunnar Sergeant Hodge. I currently serve. I've been serving for 13 years. Been through a lot. Went to Fallujah when I was 19. Fought the great fight over there. Had a great career. Done a lot of things. I served with the infantry platoon for 2 years. I do accounting now. Yes, I know I'm a desk jockey, but I'm going to get more out of it when I get out of the Marine Corps. I served with Steve in Civil Air Patrol, so he was actually one of the leaders that I looked up to when I was coming up through the ranks of that program.
Make me blush.
We've become really good friends. We relate to each other really well. A lot of the same views, so I hope him and me, we can do, or him and I, we can do some stuff that changes minds and give to you what we've learned along our way.
Yeah, damn straight. Yeah, Hodge and I have been buddies since we were wee ones, since I was learning to manipulate children as a child myself, and that was fun. I was, I'll be, well, brief with the upfront, just so we know. Anyway, I was, like you said, I was in CAP as a kid, from 12 to like 19, and then I was in the Air Force, in the Air Guard, as a guard bum and an honor guardsman for 8.5 years, and then I've been at CAP NCO for like 5 years now, which is an interesting job. It's a new role that they put together. So I've been a sergeant for I did the math earlier, which is hard for me, guys. 17 years of my life, I've been called sergeant. So I've got some experience, even though it's been here and there and back and forth and all that. But I also have a lot of experience as a crazy person, and that's something Paul and I both share. And it's just, when you do rough jobs like this, it's not like you can avoid it. Shit's just gonna happen. There's gonna be things that you can't unsee, and you can only prepare for so much. And then when you come across that threshold, your head's just gonna snap. It just pops, and you're done with. And next, and that's just how it works. Sorry, man. It's not because you're weaker, stronger, whatever. It's just there's a thing in your head that the dam bursts, and you're done. You're out for the fight. For now, for a little while. It takes a minute. But in sort of full creepy transparency, I deleted the thing from there. That's not very transparent of me. I really need to learn how to read.
You're dyslexic. It's alright.
It really makes a lot of stuff difficult, you know? They never talk about that.
I think, like, you might have to create a folder for every night.
Yeah, I did.
Put all your content. You already did that? Like, put all your content?
I had one called Audio for Air.
Okay.
I was crazy. Because I've got...
Well, maybe that's where you messed up. Because you were trying to, like, control the chaos. And
dude, that's it. Anytime I try to be clever, or I try to get... not necessarily anything accomplished, but anytime I'm like, you know what, I'm going to put these keys here so I don't forget in the morning. Sure as shit, next day I'm like, where the fuck are my keys?
That's exactly when you forget your keys. Like, you'd be like, oh, I got one. I'm gonna do it. And
I'll never lose them now.
It totally falls apart.
Yeah. I need to turn off that voiceover mode because it cuts you out. There we go. Okay. So, like we were saying, I'm nutty, and to testify to that, here's my doctor.
Purpose of evaluation.
Oh shit.
Mr. Saley was referred for purposes of evaluating his current psychosocial functioning and employability. Personal history. Stephen M. Saley was born on March 16, 1984, and is currently 34 years of age. He was born in Pontiac, Michigan, raised in Waterford, Michigan, and currently resides in Southfield, Michigan. He graduated from high school in 2002. He has approximately 6 years of college, but no degree. Mr. Saley is a single man. He has never married. He does not have any children. Mr. Saley is 6 feet tall, and currently weighs 205 pounds. He has weighed as much as 300 pounds. His normal weight is 215 pounds. He currently vapes. He drinks alcohol only rarely now. He stopped drinking more heavily in 2013. He does use marijuana and has a medical marijuana card. Mr. Saley served in the Air Force Michigan Air National Guard from July of 2003 until December of 2011. He was honorably discharged at the grade of E5. He served in Kyrgyzstan for approximately 6 months. He also served in Arizona for about 6 months. His AFSC was 3M071, Services Craftsman. He served with the 127th Services Flight and 376th Expeditionary Force Support Squadron. He is currently 100% service connected with the Veterans Administration for Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. He has not been able to work gainfully since he left the military in 2011. He is currently being re-evaluated for post-traumatic stress disorder and employability. Employment history. As stated previously, Mr. Saley has not been able to work gainfully since he left the military in 2011. Assessment. Assessment measures. Clinical interview. PTSD self-assessment. Traumatic stress inventory. Mississippi Combat Scale. PTSD stressor statement. Current symptoms. Mr. Saley has difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep. He wakes up in a very short time. Sometimes he wakes up screaming or sweating. He has nightly dreams and or nightmares related to the military. He has been prescribed prazosin. If he takes this medication, he does not remember any of his dreams. He has daily intrusive and involuntary thoughts regarding his time in the Air Force. He has experienced flashbacks. Seeing fires, especially electrical fires, the smell of sweat or loud noises can cause flashbacks and or intrusive thoughts. He becomes extremely upset around places, people, and events that remind him of the military. He tries to go out of patriotism, but it is emotionally very difficult. Halloween and winter are anniversary times for him. Mr. Saley has felt emotionally numb and void of feeling since his return from the military. He has difficulty trusting others and no close friends. He has avoided thinking or talking about his traumas over the years. I started going to Ann Arbor VAMC in 2009. He has felt alienated and separate from others. People don't understand what I have seen and been through. He has had a sense of doom and negativity. He was not sure he would get out of the Middle East alive. He has had suicidal ideation on and off since then. He lost interest in things that he previously enjoyed, including writing and socializing. His traumas are clear to him. Mr. Saley has frequent bouts of irritability and outbursts of anger. I have had periods of violence in the past. His concentration is impaired. His mind wanders easily, and he has many unfinished projects. He is hypervigilant. He prefers his back to the wall, keeps weapons, has cameras, and often scans his environment. He does exhibit an exaggerated startle response, and has struck out at others in the past. The following symptoms cause severe social, personal and occupational impairment. Difficulty concentrating. Generalized anxiety with at least 2 panic attacks per week. Short-term memory loss. Flashbacks/intrusive thoughts. Insomnia. Overwhelming feelings of sorrow. Withdrawn. Bouts of moderately severe to severe depression. Currently, Mr. Saley takes the following medications. Loratadine, allergies. Citalopram hydrobromide, mood. Pregabalin, pain. Melatonin, sleep. Sodium chloride, allergies. Propranolol, anxiety. Clonazepam, mood. Prazosin, PTSD. Diagnosis. F43.10 Post-traumatic stress disorder, chronic, delayed, severe. IBS, tinnitus, generalized body pain, epigastric distress, allergies. Alienated from others, health/financial concerns. Serious symptoms, 47. Summary and conclusion. Stephen M. Saley is a 34-year-old Air Force National Guard veteran who is currently 100% service-connected with the Veterans Administration with 100% for PTSD and additional physical problems including fibromyalgia. He has outlined several traumas which occurred in the military that are in the record. It is my professional opinion that more likely than not these traumas which occurred in the Air Force are the nexus between his current symptoms and his military experience. In spite of extensive treatment and medication, his symptoms remain active and florid. It is true that symptoms can wax and wane, but basically Mr. Saley's symptoms have remained serious since he got out of the military. He has been unemployable since he got out of the military and has been receiving Social Security disability benefits based on his psychological and physical symptoms. Based on my clinical interview, observations, and review of assessment measures and records, it is my professional opinion that Mr. Saley meets all criteria as outlined by DSM-5 in regard to this diagnosis. Based on his education, training, past work experience and current level of symptoms, it is my professional opinion that he is not a viable rehabilitation candidate, nor is he capable of sustaining substantial, gainful work activity. He is unemployable. In addition to his significant psychological issues, he does have difficulty with chronic pain. He has been using a cane since 2010. Attached, please find my curriculum vitae, along with my assessment of Mr. Saley on the Global Assessment of Functioning Scale. I have completed a PTSD disability benefits questionnaire as well. My opinions are based not only on my experience as a licensed psychologist, but but as a nationally certified rehabilitation counselor. Should there be any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me. Dr. T.
So yeah, the doctor said quite a bit there for me. A lot of things that it might as well just say, get it out there now and get it out there in a plainer English than I'm going to be able to deliver. I talk in poetry if I talk at all, and so that's a problem sometimes, but sometimes it's pretty. What can you do? So anyway, let's talk about what we're here to do. So we have kind of given you brief introductions about who we are. Gunnery Sergeant Hodge has a wealth of experience. He's been doing this since he was a kid as well. He's been called sergeant most of his life. Like I said, same situation for me. We've been around warriors our whole life, raised by warriors, trained by warriors, brought up by warriors. That's the people we like. And we'll get into a little bit further what we mean like that, because that doesn't necessarily mean military. It doesn't necessarily mean you got stripes on. It doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means. And so we'll clarify as we get there. And so I guess you'll learn a little bit more about us as we kind of go along, as we sort of unfold things. But we wanted to talk to you about the real war out there. There are a number of wars to choose from, but war is not an isolated event. It's captured in isolation, and we give it periods of time and names, but war is a swarm of locusts that has been stirring since the beginning of time and just moving from place to place. Sometimes it spreads, sometimes it doesn't. But this idea that you can contain war or stop war, you can stop war, but you have to be adults about it. You can't do it with weapons. That's fucking preposterous. That's how you fight wars. Yeah, I love that song. That's Skeletons by NTM out of Berkeley. I don't know if they're touring or nothing, but I know they're recording, and you can check them out on Bandcamp. I've got the link just above my head here. It's https://ntm-music.bandcamp.com. Go check out the rest of their stuff. It's pretty awesome. A little spooky and groovy, and maybe if I hit the right buttons, we'll be in better shape here. But, so instead of, I don't know, I think, because we're just kind of getting to know each other and all that, I was considering going through the definition, the 4 factors, and the 11 principles, but that's a lot of shit to take in all at once. We're having a pretty good talk, and I don't want to get in the way of that. So instead, there's a bit of a wheeze from the delightful tar I got caught in my lungs from Super Blue cookies. I don't know. I didn't eat them. I'll just tell you that much. Energy. So, you know what? I can just draw on this board like this. See? Hi. Hello. And so what I'll do is just throw this board up in front of y'all. And Paul, feel free to chime in at any time here because, well, obviously you know why. But leadership defined. Leadership is real simple. If you go out there right now into the general public and you ask somebody, tell me what leadership is. What is your definition of leadership? I bet you they're going to give you some windy, curvy bullshit answer that beats around the bush more than it gets to any kind of goddamn point. And you hear people say, oh, leadership is an art. Leadership is a science. No, we are here to tell you that leadership is 3 fucking things, and that is it. If you want to know what leadership is, it is, I'm knocking stuff over because I'm excited to tell you guys about this. They gave the dyslexic a pen. Its purpose. Da-da-da. Let's see how fast I can spell it out. Motivation. That's how those words end. And direction. Okay? It's just that. That's all leadership is. If you are providing leadership to other human beings, then you are in a position that requires you to provide them with purpose, motivation, and direction. So if you're a manager, if you're a sergeant, if you're a captain, if you're a commander, like no matter what the hell you have to do, it's just that this simple. And so the purpose that you're providing is the something bigger. It's the why. Most who was that German general who came and trained all our fellers in the Revolution? Von Steubing. He said that American soldiers were unique in the fact that they fought better when they knew why they were doing it. It's just a weird thing about Americans. We like to know why we're doing a thing. But most people do as well. And so, alright, I'm not going to draw anymore on this slide. I'm going to switch back up. But you can stay laid down. That's cool, man. So, you provide the purpose, you provide the motivation, you provide the direction. And leadership is sort of happening. But that doesn't necessarily explain the full picture. Because while the leadership is happening, you have these... Did I put the slides in? Nope, I didn't. Beep, beep, beep. Okay. So while you're providing the purpose, motivation, and direction, that's like a particle. You know how particles are waves and waves are particles, and if you don't, check that out, because that'll fuck with your head for a minute. But leadership is delivered by handing these three things out: purpose, motivation, direction. Beat that into your head. Purpose, motivation, direction. If your people aren't doing what you want, did you provide purpose, motivation, direction effectively? Those four things are always, or those three things, how you deliver them, are going to be affected by these four factors of leadership: the leader, the led, the situation, and the communication. The leader is always going to influence how high things can go. How much you know is how much you can supervise safely, effectively, and get a job done. If you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to do it. That's just how this goes. The lead, they influence how slow you gotta go, because you are always as slow as your slowest person. That's just how this game works as well. It's those axioms aren't just around for the sake of, whatever. The situation is the environment, sort of internally, externally. What is happening right now? What's going on in this time, in this place, in this moment that you need to deliver purpose, motivation, and direction. And then all three of those are tied together with the communication. And how you communicate bridges the gaps between what you know as the leader up here and up here. I'll figure the cameras out eventually, guys. You know how this shit works. But you say, hey, this is where we want to go, and this is what we want to do. And the lead are going to say, sorry, boss, I can't go that far. And you're going to say, shit. Well, And so, while I'm drawing... Oh, he's up now. But you can see, let me draw with a fatter pen. Can I make the pen fatter? Fat pen, please. Pen settings, pointer options. Fat pen. Pen. Ink color. Ooh. Pen. Oh, I just get one pen. Okay. Well, fuck me, I guess. Fine, PowerPoint. Fucking tell me to fuck myself. So, I'm gonna... Oh, now you're not even gonna let me draw? You douchebag. Okay. So, imagine I'm drawing over top of my picture, like you see up here. And this isn't some kind of Illuminati symbol, although they steal from me all the time. Those fucking guys. They really could use their own ideas, but I have good ones, so they steal them. But anyway, so you're the leader, and you want to get to the top of this mountain. You've been up here before, and you've planted your flag, and it's got your name and whatever kind of bullshit you're up to. And you got your little cohort of people down here, and they're like, hooray! That sounds great, because down here you've given them some purpose, motivation, and direction. You said, our purpose today is to conquer this hill. Our motivation, why? Because, you know what, I've done it, and you have no idea how insane it's going to make you feel, how powerful it's going to make you feel. And all you got to do is just follow me up this hill. And they're going to be like, hooray! So you're giving them purpose, motivation, direction. And then you get like a little bit up the hill, and then they're like, nah, we quit. We're done. Fuck this. I'm out. My feet hurt. I'm tired. I haven't shit in a minute. I don't know what's going on with my stomach. He's got to think, like, it all breaks down. It all goes haywire. And that's when you need to reapply that leadership. And so now you're in a new situation. You still have the same leader and lead, but now you have a new situation, and now you have to communicate differently. So apparently the purpose and motivation was not enough juice to get them all the way up the hill, and the direction was insufficient because now they're tired and hurt and busted, and you're feeling fine and dandy, so there's a miscommunication there. So you take time to sit down with your troops and go, all right, what's the deal, guys? My feet hurt, I'm tired, and I don't think we can go this far. And then, then you start talking, then you start saying, hey, we made it 50 yards right now, can we do another 50 and then check how we're doing? We'll do a foot check, get some chow in us, see how we feel there. Yeah, yep. Okay, cool. And then now, all of a sudden, instead of quitting at the base of the hill, at least you're another 50 more feet up. The mission still is continuing. That's something you can work with, rather than, oh, fuck it, I got a mutiny on my hands, all their feet hurt, and sit down and be like, what do we got to do to make this happen, guys? This is your team, these are your people, and they want to succeed as much as you. They started up that hill because they believed in you. They didn't stop because they stopped believing in you. They stopped because their bodies stopped, or maybe they did stop believing in you. Who the fuck knows? But for whatever reason they stopped. Assess the situation. What's up with me? Am I being too aggressive? Am I pushing them too hard? Are my goals realistic? My goals for this company is like, I want to buy an abandoned auto factory and turn it into just a rad fucking space, because there's no public spaces in Southeast Michigan. Like, I'm sure there are, but you get arrested for loitering, or it's a fucking nightmare. And there's no sun. Like, Alaska says they got it rough. Like, I'm sure they do, actually, considering, like, fuck me, sorry fellas, that's gonna be a nightmare. But it sucks here too. It's preposterous how dark it is all the time. Like, around Christmas time, like 4 p.m., it gets dark on Christmas Eve. Shit you not. And then, like, how do you have joy in your heart in that season when you're reminded of all the funerals you've been to, and also you haven't seen the goddamn sun because it goes up after you're in school, work, or whatever, and goes down before you get out of whatever the fuck you're in.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. And then if you got seasonal affective disorder, you're just bonus fucked. Like, it's just... So, like, if we had a public space and we could throw some lights in that actually generate some kind of a vitamin D, or, or, like, figure out how to revitalize malls so that, like, okay, so we get it, you're not going to shop there, but maybe you can, like, peruse. How do we make it so you peruse in a mall? How do we make it so that you can hang out? I don't know. We'll get to that bridge when we cross that. But, like, that's what this purpose, motivation, and direction is, and maybe saying, hey, I got to this hill, you can do it. Maybe that's not enough. I can't spell his name to look it up, but there's this French aviator who made the point that if you want people to build sailing ships, don't tell them to build sailing ships. Like, tell them that there's an endless ocean that's to be explored, and then give them a goal somewhere in there. Once you've said, hey, there's an endless ocean to be explored, if you come with me on this journey, you're going to see fucking mermaids and whales. This is true. All of it's true. I have pictures on this map. Look, this one's got like a head like a dog. And Tim said he had sex with that one, so that should be a pretty accurate picture. Like that's that's and you're like, fuck it, hey man, let's go, let's get out there and explore and see, and then on the way there, you're like, all right, well first we need a backpack, and then your adventure starts, and it's a piece at a time, and if you just give somebody some great purpose and you give somebody some great motivation, you get them jazzed up and you've got them shooting directly for the fucking moon, and then you don't tell them how to get there, they're going to figure it out on their own. And that's where it gets dangerous. That's where vagary gets people killed, because everything you leave out, they got to fill in somehow. Everything that you neglected to tell them, mom and dad, the sooner you don't tell your kids about sex, the sooner I'm going to do it by accident. Like, that's just how the world is working. And if your poor sweet baby is enlisting and you think they're going to stay a sweet little angel, like, they may, but they're going to be surrounded by some brutes and exposed to it anyway. So how about you let them know what it is and clue them in instead of pretending it doesn't fucking exist, so their head doesn't explode when they encounter people like me. Because that is preposterous, to say the least, to have veal babies. Like, what the fuck are you doing to your children? They're pasty little, untouched, unfucked, sad little, look at me, and don't look at me, though, and what the hell's going on? I just came out of my 10-year coma here, and awesome. Good job, fellas. Like, I appreciate it, and I love you, and like I said, if I'm calling you an asshole, it's because I love you, and I don't want you to be an asshole. But you guys are kind of being assholes. That's why we want to teach you this leadership stuff, so let me get back to that. That was a little bit of a rant, right, buddy? He knows what's up.
Oh.
So, make sure you provide clear direction, because everything, and you've probably seen this go fucking haywire, too, where everything you leave out is something they make up.
I mean, leadership is such a... It's like a... It's such a deep thing that, like, people don't get. Like, you're never gonna get it.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Ever.
It's definitely a ride. It's not it's not a thing that you go, now I know how this works. Because the minute you say that, you're going to have the craziest shit you ever thought of pop through the door.
No.
And then,
all the time. All the time. You'll always face a new leadership challenge that you're not going to know how to deal with, that you haven't dealt with before. And to be honest with you, like, you got to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be humble and say, like, okay, like, I haven't seen that shit before.
Talk to every new encounter like you would a fucking lion. Just be like, all right, buddy, what's your deal? Okay. Right.
And it never stops. It's like a never-ending thing.
Mm-mm. That's why the Buddhists say life is suffering, by the way. It's not because they were emo. It's because they were like, no, this is... It's like my mom used to say when I was a little kid. She put, alcohol on a boo-boo there. And it burns. And she's like, if it burns, if it hurts, it's working. And she'd always say that when I was a kid. I hurt my toe, and she's like, that's how you know it works. And I'm like, all right. And I never really understood what that meant until I went through, like, excruciating pain and then got on the ass end of it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, if it hurts, it's working. It means your heart's fucking working, kiddo. Your brain's working. It's on overdrive or underdrive, or your fuel, you might get to... We might have to adjust the levels. But, yeah.
You always have... It's a... Leadership is kind of like... it's like your ability to breathe.
Mm.
you have to
remember that you can control it.
right. You know, sometimes it gets like out of control, like you get out of breath,
Yeah.
and like
Well, like you were saying with my mindfuck stuff, like I'm very aware of that. Like part of the reason I'd love to get this podcast going is because like my uncle had like weird cult leader personality. Like luckily he used it as a low level uh 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 like cover band enthusiast. Um and but like he was very good at getting people to like him. And like that always terrified me when people started saying like, "Oh, Sarge, I looked up to you so much," and like, and that's my problem. I shouldn't make that their problem, and I try not to. But like, I was always afraid, like, fuck, dude, I could be a cult leader real easy because I know exactly what to do to you, and it's like, I have conversations with people, and like Paul knows how this feels too, like. You can talk to somebody, and while you're talking to them, feel what it would feel like to break their collarbone. And, like, you feel it through your hand all the way to your shoulder, and you're like, oh, that would feel so good just to shut this person the fuck up. But you're not. You're being kind. You're holding the Hulk back. And that's part of the trick, too, is, like, just, you know... I don't know that the Avengers was setting out to make a big statement about PTSD, but that always angry bit is the truth of it. Is, you know, you manage the monster by just letting it out and learning what the fuck it wants for once, and just figuring, you know, like you were talking with the darkness, man. Like when you see it, and it's not that like. You see me like zoning out there. That's part of the darkness. That's when, if we had an editor with copyright music, we'd play like the Doors or something, and just
right, yeah.
And like, shit, I don't know. It's. But the thing too is, I think it took both of us maybe a little too long to figure it out. But leading one person is the same as leading a bunch of people, and we both have led hundreds of motherfuckers, and you know, usually a few at a time, and sometimes hundreds at a time, and it just depends on what the hell's going on and what we got to do. But we had considered turning guns on ourselves, but it never dawned on us to turn our stripes on ourselves.
You're right. I mean, we can be, and that's a great thing. Like, you know, we can defeat ourselves in our minds, but if someone ever asks for help, if one of my people ever asks for help, I'm always gonna be like, you know what? Hold on one second.
Right.
Put this crazy aside.
Because it'll still be there.
Right. I'm gonna help this person.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if, you know, we were given a special ability. And maybe not. You know, Steve and I might be crazy.
We just read the paperwork earlier. If you were here in the 1 o'clock hour.
You know, we've been given this inherent ability to feel with other people, and to see what they're going through, even though I don't know what you're going through. I don't, you know, I don't really care what you're going through, to be honest.
Right. The details are so not important. Like, right. And that's something important too. Like, if you're talking to me, or you're talking to Hodge, or you're talking to any other veteran, and you're talking about, hey, you know, oh, that's a good wheeze. You're saying, hey, you know, hey, Sarge, hey, Gunny, when I was a kid, my granddad used to finger me, and I know it's not the same as what you went through, and I'll say, no, that's fucking worse. Are you shitting me? I wish no, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, but like, No, that is worse. That is worse. So stop it. Stop beating yourself up. Fuck me. Good Lord, what a nightmare. And it doesn't matter if that's worse or if the thing that broke you was. I mean, I know a lot of people who just watched 9/11 happen on TV and fucking were done. Just fried, cooked. And they weren't there. They didn't smell it. They don't know what that powdered cement smells like. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
there, but I know he knows what powdered cement. It's got a thing there. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know, and if you don't, you don't, and that's just part of it. But like whatever blows your fuse blows your fucking fuse. And sorry, that's part genetics and a lot of environment. And you've been raised in a real safe place, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But we took advantage of that safety in like the 90s, and we went buck wild after Columbine. And if you don't know what Columbine is, that's where two kids decided to celebrate Hitler's birthday and go shoot up their whole school, and that just flipped everybody out. Everybody's asshole shut real tight, real quick on that one, because that was the gnarliest thing that happened to us in a while. And then 9/11 happened, and then it just went totally dark. And I don't know, people just started dropping like flies left and right, like not just from service. Like I've been to, and the same for Paul. Like I guarantee the number of civilian funerals we've been to is probably damn near the same as military.
Mm-hmm.
And what's fucked up is it's a lot of times for the same shit. Dumb accidents, drugs, car accidents, fucking shit where you get a phone call and you pick up and then we have our 4 seconds of mourning and we go, you have got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, it's another one. Another one. Another one I have to go to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it sucks. Like it's almost like it's I don't want to say it's like I don't want to take away from your pain,
Right.
because it's not like it's not like that.
Right.
It's
because you have to let the person, because it's not like our experience. If it's our job, like I was on the honor guard for a stretch and I did 90 funerals in 90 days, and like fuck man, it's a job. And as hard as it is for us to stand there next to your dead relative, and like we have to do our very best to not let you know that this is weird for us. Like we're doing this because this is our job, and this is and this person who we're standing beside owes our allegiance and our respect and all the stuff we're doing, but like it's still kind of fucking weird just in general. And so like sorry. But like have your moment though too. Like don't worry that we're going to get weirded out cuz we're getting paid for it. We signed up for it. Like it's okay. The VA is going to give us all kinds of pills.
all kinds of it.
You name it. Well, don't name it, because then they won't give it to you. They'll give you every other fucking drug on the sun.
You're
Jesus
right.
Christ, they're paranoid.
Don't say like hint hint.
Right.
I want some narcotics, and they're like, well, ibuprofen 800s. And I'm like,
Right.
shit.
But if you ask for Tylenol, they'll throw a needle in your arm and be like, guess what, dickhead? You're on the H train now. And you're like, oh. But I have a nervous system disorder that isn't affected by opiates. They're warm though, right?
Yeah, you'll feel it here in a minute. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So yeah, rather than burning through all 11 principles, and I'll put that into another kind of presentation, and we're figuring that out too. So let us know again. You got the number here. You can leave us a voicemail. It's 313-288-9617. You can email us at dfd.slm at deployed from Detroit. There's that dyslexia kicking in again. And brain is melting. It's also 0351 local here in the Detroit, which is preposterous because my body, oh, I may look like a young strapping handsome young devil, young something. I'm saying that because it's my birthday. That's what that fucking Freudian. That's not very slippy though. It's very fucking direct. Freudian direct messages. Okay, so I'm not gonna go through all 11, but you know, in the comments or wherever you decide to get a hold of us, let us know how you think you'd like this presented. If you want it thrown in its own thing, or I don't know, but we'll see. We're just gonna kind of keep running at this until the wheels fit in the right spots.
Yep.
So, so yeah, just remember, if you are the assistant manager at Panera Bread and your fucking dudes are just not slinging sandwiches as quick as they could, have you given them purpose, motivation, and direction? I worked at Panera, so I can tell you about their bread education. It's good. I'll tell you what, outside of the Air Force, fucking Panera Bread, man. And that's not like, we don't have a commercial, but like they're a people first organization. They're good about their troops. I just could not stand their fucking catchwords like bread education. And as an adult, I have a hard time with that. And I'm sorry, but I love you fellers. Why was I talking? I wasn't trying to talk shit about them. Why was I talking about Panera Bread, man?
You were talking about leadership.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you work at Panera Bread, that's right. Because I worked there anyway. If they're not slinging the soup the way they need to, or now you guys have drive-thrus, holy moly! Tells you how long ago I worked there. But you can use this. You know, your direction is, hey, make the sandwich. Okay. But what's the motivation for making the sandwich besides the paycheck? If you have a company and you have an employee and you're holding their paycheck against them as the only motivation, you're a fucking idiot. Because that ain't going to last real long. Because all they'll do is go find someone else who's matching that amount and piece the fuck out. That's why your retention sucks, whatever. Like, if that's an issue for you, that's what your issue is. So don't hold their money against them as motivation. Don't deduct pay for bullshit. Don't be fucking weird about time cards. Just be like, hey, man, everybody gets $300 a week or whatever. Like, yeah, that sounds easier said than done. Yeah, no shit. But it's effective. It'll get it. You just watch shit get done when you got people who like being there. And they've got a new motivation. Because, hey, this boss doesn't give a fuck. They're not up my ass about my hours. And instead of like, oh, I got to punch in here and I got to punch in there. Like, I do my schedule. They know what's up. I had to switch out Wednesday. But, like, I still get my $300 a week. And they know what, you know. And, like, I can count on these people. And they can count on me because I can count on them. And that's how you start relationships. You know, and how you fucking get anything done in this world is by leading. Lead yourself, lead your people. And so if you're Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, in, out, whatever the fuck, your people aren't doing their thing, check the purpose, motivation, direction. And then if you think you're nailing it there, you're probably not communicating it effectively. And so do your people know enough for you to use the shorthand you're using? Do you need to catch them up to speed for them to understand? Like, figure out what the balance is. But like, for right now, I've got ages of material on this, and I'm hoping not to expose you to all of it. Not because it's secret, but because I talk like this, and we don't know if that's marketable yet, but fucking hey, we'll see, right? But take this little math equation to heart all the time with you. If you're in a leadership bind, providing leadership is providing purpose, motivation, direction amongst the 4 factors of leadership, amongst who's leading, who you're leading, what's going on, and how you tell them about it, and how they tell you about it too. And so no matter what your incident is, with interacting with people, leading teams, it's somewhere in that geometry, somewhere in that trigonometry, whatever you can make it look like in your head. You could draw L equals P plus M plus D and make it a little deal and be creative, have fun with it. But fucking remember it though. Purpose, motivation, direction. And if anybody starts giving you some highfalutin, oh, it's an art and skill of magic and wizardry, fuck them. Well, don't fuck them, but tell them to fuck themselves. And on my behalf, say, hey, Sergeant Gunny tells you to go fuck yourselves, because leadership is just these three things in the environment space of those four factors. Do I need to repeat them again? No, because I'm going to repeat them a billion times as we do this. Purpose, motivation, direction. Remember those. Come on now. Yeah! Next slide, motherfucker. I don't even know the slides up. Do. Okay, cool. I got the last three, so we can whiz right by and get on in. So, we need to talk. And that's part of what we're doing. And so, get a hold of us for sure if you want to talk to us directly. But we need to talk as a people, as a community, as a species, as living things. Let's see if whales want to chat. What the fuck are those guys up to, huh? Who knows? Let's figure it out. Let's divert, okay, really? Okay. Giggity, come on, say words, buddy. Kickstart that engine. Okay. Should our education budget match our defense budget? I was thinking about this morning. I was like, you know what our problem is? It's a bunch of fucking idiots. And it's not your fault. You were raised to be idiots by other idiots. And it's been a slowly sort of degrading system. It's the silk slipper syndrome of empire, where the better you have it, the worse off you end up when shit gets bad. And so, go learn karate or something, or what the fuck was I talking about? I'm starting to spin here. Oh, you're zoning out too, buddy. Did I hit mute or something? Or you?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. All right.
No,
Yeah.
no.
But
So, to stay focused.
yeah, please help me with that. Communication, as in general, needs to be improved and increased in volume. And real communication, though. I think that's probably the more important thing I was trying to get at. Is authentic communication is more critical.
Yeah, no, talking. I think talking is a big thing of what we need to do, because we need to talk about real shit, not just bullshit that we're fed. And
Right.
Like you said,
Not just whatever's trending.
if we want to go to we want to hear from other people. We want to hear from the people who hate on us, the people from other countries that we have conflicts with.
Yeah.
We want to hear about all that stuff.
Call me up, Russia. Maybe I'll let you use my Star Wars count for legitsies.
Yeah,
Hey,
no,
now, so you don't have
we
to
want
fucking
we
steal
want to
it.
hear the opposing views. That's all good, but honestly, we just need to effectively communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's hard for us. It's hard for us to communicate these days, because we do so much social media and
And we're out of practice.
we are.
And we're also, I
lost.
think so many of us aren't taught how insignificant digital communication is to the human spirit. There are chemicals required for you to be happy that aren't generated unless you're in the presence of other human beings. So agoraphobes, BT dubs, get the fuck outside just for that. Otherwise, your serotonin is never going to pop up again. I think that's the one that gets all fuzzy. But yeah, like, carry on, because I'm spinning out of...
No, we have to always maintain that communication, or we're lost. We have to get back to the fact that if we don't talk between human to human, we really have lost the we've lost our way.
Yeah. And that's like, that's not just like terrorists win, that's like AI wins. Like, we've pre-fought the war for... And there's not gonna be a fucking robot apocalypse if we do things right, but like, giving up so, like, nah, yeah, humans, we fucked this one, so we're just gonna pack it in right now, throw a couple nukes across whatever, and fucking see what happens. Like, oh, that's a good plan. That, come on, what the fuck? We can do better than that, people. Like, and it's something true to consider is like whether or not you I don't think it's anything worth believing, because I don't think it actually fucking happened. But the Tower of Babel is a terrific story, and like every time we try to rebuild it, it hurts us. The Gutenberg press created the ability for the Renaissance to flourish, and for the Protestant Reformation and all that stuff. But I mean, the printing press was already in Asia for a stretch, and they'd been reading books and buying books, and they were fine ahead of time. But I guess for, since for some reason we track our bullshit through them, but the Gutenberg, like, it also let idiots read it, and people who didn't know how to read, people who didn't know that when manna fell from the heaven, it meant that like flower seeds fell out of the sky. And that's not impossible. That's actually a very natural phenomenon. Like, it's written in a poetic language, all this stuff. And the problem, okay, let me get to the real point. Because, like, the problem isn't that, like, it's the initial shock of it. There's a lot of information that was hidden. There's a lot of information we didn't know. There are secrets, and there's all kinds of, like, holy shit. And now Africa's online, Asia's online, Europe's online, South America's online. 50% of the planet has a cell phone in their hand as we're speaking. Holy shit, guys, it's happening. It's the future. Holy moly, we made it. And it sucks. What the fuck? And we're not going to be able to fix it unless we talk to each other, and not just talk to our friends, and not just talk to people we agree with, but whoever offends you and whoever bums you out. Like, the only way to defeat weird is to talk it out. The only way to defeat evil is to just talk it out. And then if you can't talk it out, then we go to Congress, and we go to the right approval process, and we declare a war, and then people like Gunny Hodge and I go fuck them up. But like, you don't have to go that far with most of your problems. Most of your shit can be solved with like a couple seconds of kind of icky feelings, and then just getting down to brass tacks and saying, oh, you meant that. I'm sorry, I thought I was reading your text message and I was in a shitty mood, so I read your thing in a shitty mood, and so like I thought we were both in a shitty mood, but I could have pressed the microphone button and sent you a thing, and you would know I wasn't in a shitty mood. And you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, because you've been there. Because it's easier to send a text, and it's easier to send all this other bullshit, but it's missing vital ingredients to making you feel decent and feel normal. So that's a dead horse with a black eye somewhere. So this one is, I think you're going to pick up on this one right away, Hodge. Like, please finish your thought. Whatever you're saying to yourself, whatever you're saying to me, whatever you're saying to somebody else, please complete your thought. I know we all have been kind of taught to be concise and short on things. But if you tell me like, oh, I'm bad at push-ups, All right. Finish your fucking thought. I'm bad at push-ups now because I haven't worked on them. But if I apply myself, then I'll get gradually better at doing push-ups. Oh, cool. All right, rad. Yeah, finish your goddamn sentence. I can't tie my shoes. And we quit there? Are you shitting me? Like, keep going.
A lot of time.
Oh shit, your thing got fuzzy. Oh, now you're back. Oh, now you're fuzzy.
Too much.
Now you're back.
Where people come to you with problems, and they're like, "What do I do? Like, how do I do this?"
Very
And
carefully.
I'm like, okay. And usually what I do is, I'll be like, what do you think we should do? And they're like, okay, well, like you said, like if I can't do enough push-ups, right? Like I have a problem with push-ups. Okay, so what do you think you need to do about it? More push-ups. Okay, exactly.
Right.
That's exactly what
Problem
you
solved.
should do. You should do more push-ups. Like it's not hard.
Yeah.
You're not.
Don't come to me looking for magic. Like, oh yeah, if you go back behind motor pool, if you suck that gnome's dick, he'll give you like an extra 50 on your push-up number. It's weird, but I think it's worth it. I do it twice a week, and I 100% on that PTF, man. Like, no.
People struggle with this all the time though. Like they're so scared to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like I think it's like society these days.
Yeah.
It gives them the reason to like question everything that like they know.
Oh yeah. Like, oh, is this gonna blow up in my face? Unless it's literally gonna blow up in your face, fucking carry on. Try it out. Give it a whirl.
Right.
Try everything twice. That's my rule. You might be wrong the first time. I learned that on a few things. I might learn it on a few more.
This goes into the whole rank thing. So both of us are senior enlisted, and we've been through the ranks, but I always tell my corporals and my sergeants and everything like that, when you pick up when you get promoted to that rank, I always ask them, where's the reference at that tells you what you're supposed to be like at that rank?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, there isn't one. There isn't a fucking reference. Like, you go out and be what you want that rank to be.
Right.
You define.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like if we picked you for that job, don't doubt yourself. How fucking dare you doubt yourself if I appointed you somewhere? Because that sure shit means I saw what I want in you, or what I want in that slot in you. Yeah, that's the right words. So like, don't worry. You're there for the right reason. People trust you.
Like I said though, people don't finish their thoughts. Like they think like, okay, I'm a corporal, and then they stop. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Finish your thought. What does it mean to be a corporal? Like, what does it mean?
And then might jump to, I'm in charge.
What's it mean? Oh yeah,
that's the last thing you are.
Oh, I love that one. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Young little boy or woman, whatever the case is, but you find it more inherent in men. So please, females, don't be offended.
Yeah, it's a sausage fest. If you're into sausage fest, fucking sign on up, because thus far, I mean, I don't know, the Air Force is pretty much 50-50. Because, who gives a shit?
Women, and we'll get into this topic later.
Yeah,
but
they make badass warriors. Just not in every slot, because, come on, they got shit to do.
They do, and they deal with things differently than men.
Yeah.
Men are inherently stupid. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, we're. Oh, you got. Did you get disconnected for calling us stupid? There
No.
he
Oh
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're good.
like, I think. Well, what's funny is we're much more emotional than women in a way. I think women will encounter more emotions in a season than a guy will, but a guy will encounter them with a depth that is just fucking preposterous. Like, if you want to see sad, see a dude like a couple minutes after anybody broke up with him and he's just and then oh, if they answered that call naked, a naked guy doing that with their sad dick just big heavy sobs, that's a bummer. Guys are very emotional and but like we kind of we need to get things done. We're very much into like you're like, oh, I don't know, today was rough, and they're like, so what do you want me to do about it? And we're not asking like because, well, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? We're like, no, can I rub your feet? Should I run a bath? Like, I got a list in my head, but it'd be easier if you were just like, hey, fuckwad, just like hold my hand while we watch this TV, and I'm like, okay, cool, deal, buddy. Like we're that kind of dumb. Like it's not so much that it's not in there. It's just that we need some assistance if you want it out quickly.
Females know automatically that they're
They're the predators.
well.
In all
It's not,
mammals, they're the predators. That
it's
shit's
not even.
true.
They know. They know that they're automatically at a disadvantage, which means
Well,
the
yeah.
normal bullshit of like a male corporal or sergeant
Mm-hmm.
or senior airman to staff sergeant, you know whatever the rank is.
Yeah.
Females know that, like, okay, when I make that transition, like, I have to work that much harder.
Right.
She always knows that. Men are like, okay, I made that transition, now I made it.
Yeah.
And that's when they become stupid. So when I speak about,
Yeah,
you
because
know,
women will continue to work for their roles because they're like, this shit is not over. Guys, dumb guys, like people who get it know that, like, oh, I'm going to have to keep working for this. But like dumb guys will think, like, I had this coming the whole time. And you're like, all right, buddy, whatever. And
well,
then they only make E4 and then they get the fuck out after their term and we don't care about them anymore.
males are entitled. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
let's just be honest. Males
Yeah.
are entitled. We
We
feel
want
entitled.
everything.
Yeah, no, and we want everything for free.
Or at least under our own means of acquisition. We'd like to figure out how we get it.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
yeah. Because it's not that the work isn't the problem. It's the just kind of work. If it's not engaging, we'll just be like, fuck this, I'm out. I got other shit to do. Because that's kind of us too. Is like, once there's no target to engage, we're like, disengage, I'm off. Fucking hit the patrol again and do your pattern.
What are we doing after that? I mean, as soon as we're done, we're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, when we get done crying and doing it, we're like, we're like, well, fuck, I gotta go on OkCupid again.
The PlayStation is still there. Like,
yep.
I'm gonna go play Call of Duty for like
right
10 hours now.
I'm gonna get an Assassin's Creed and just slit throats all day.
I mean,
or just like be a sick fuck and poison people. All just watch them die slow for an hour. 6 guys in one camp. Like,
boom. Now we're really getting crazy.
and while we're on the finishing your sentence about being nice to yourself, like another thing I kind of want to bring up is this idea that when you're trying to be nice to us being veterans in general, and I think I've talked to enough veterans and like we've discussed this enough that yeah. Like, don't take this the wrong way. Remember, if I call you an asshole, it's because I love you. Stop thanking me for my service. Please. Finish your sentence, especially. Finish your thought, finish your statement, please. Because like I said in in that communication bit, whatever you leave out is regrettably something we can fill in, and you don't know, and I'm sorry, and it's not your fault, and if you keep at it and whatever, like, it doesn't matter, but maybe consider this next time. It is finish your thought, and then maybe you'll make that Veterans Day a little bit better too, because maybe that's the first time they've been out of the house in a stretch. And so finish your thought. And so when you say thank you for your service, what are you thanking me for? Like, what did you do with my time? My 8.5 years in service and then 10 years in sort of solitary recovery. What did you do in the past 18 and a half? Jesus Christ. Time sure flies, man.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Good God. So what'd you do with 18 and a half years? Tell me. At least that's what I'd love to know. Hey, man, while you were in the service and you were away, I did. I went to college and I got married and I had kids. Do you want to see a picture? And I'll be like, probably not. But you'll show me anyway. And I'm like, that's a cute fucking kid. And I'm like, thanks for showing me. And then, and you'll say, hey, I couldn't go. I didn't go. Whatever the situation was, it is what it is. But, like, thanks. Because you did that, I got to do this. And that one isn't going to let me go, thank you for your service. And then me go, thank you for seeing that kid get his head caved in. Or, like, what, fill in the blank with all kinds of good shit. Like, remember what skins? I'll stop. But, like, maybe share with us. And maybe we'll share with you too. And maybe don't be in such a goddamn hurry. Yeah, we all die and life is short and all that shit, but you're gonna miss it if you're in a hurry. I'll tell you that much. That's something we'll both attest to.
Yep.
You might catch a speeding every now and again, but we're sure as shit not in a hurry. No, NCOs are like wizards. We show up when the fuck we need to. I think that's how it says it in the movie. I don't know. I'm usually late though. I'm probably never early.
we're only there to tell you. We're like we're the ones that show up when you're doing something stupid, and we're the ones who say, you might want to take another look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just take another look.
And it's not to be shitty. It's just because we want you to, your job is important, and so we need to make sure it gets done right. And you're an important person, so we need to make sure you're taken care of correctly. And, like, fuck that rifle and that tank and that fighter jet and all that shit. Like, invest your time in your people, and and that's how the military does it. And that's like a crazy thing to both of us and to a lot of veterans that doesn't seem to translate in the civilian world, is the idea of troop care, of taking care of your people. If you take care of your people, everything else will be fine. Because they'll take care of you. That's just how shit works. That's how families work. And what if? Fucking cross that bridge when you get there. Get insurance and have a good time. Like, just do what you gotta do. But firstly, finish your thoughts. When you're talking to yourself, I'm too fat. Yeah, probably. But fucking, alright, what's the next bit? It's probably because I go to Taco Bell like twice a week. Alright, let's try once a week. See what that does. It worked a little bit, so maybe I need to try something else, or maybe get rid of Taco Bell altogether, but I can't get rid of Taco Bell altogether, so.
Well, unless you're drunk.
Right. So we'll do Taco Bell like once a month, and then we'll try what else we can cut out of my diet. And, just fucking keep at it. Finish the thought until it becomes something that makes sense. Because you saying, I'm an idiot, that doesn't make sense. No, nobody likes me. That doesn't make sense. Finish it until it does make some sense. Or you might realize halfway through how much sense it doesn't make, and just kind of stop and be like, that was a little bit stupid. So, all right, and here's the last slide because it's getting to ODark 30, 420, whoop whoop, and aim high, da da da, Air Force here.
Yeah, I'm not speaking on this shit.
Yeah, it was. I never got into it. I was never like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna aim high, and it. I don't know. It wasn't a great slogan. I don't even know. I literally don't know. Let me look up what the Air Force's current slogan. Dear Google,
Isn't it?
what is the
aim
Air
high?
Force's current slogan? Aim high, fly, fight, win. Oh, cool. That's not a mouthful. So it's still aim high.
Fly, fight, win.
Fly, fight, win. Yeah, they put that into the Airman's Creed, which was our, like, we're warriors too.
By the way,
We are, but, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Fucking.
I just want to point out
Yeah.
we have not been in like an aeronautical battle in a long time.
No, dude.
So
I love
fly,
watching
fight,
fighter
win.
pilots do that Top Gun bullshit at the bar. And it's like, fuck you, dude. I saw the fucking cam footage, so I was like, and it's away. However, there was this TACP was telling me about this B-52 that did a CAS mission, and it just unfucked everybody's head because if you don't know, B-52 is insanely large. It doesn't make sense that it goes into the sky to begin with. And then it also carries at least an acre of hell's worth of shit in its belly.
Yeah.
And so this unit was pinned the fuck down. And if you were any of these dudes or you were the guy I talked to in Kyrgyzstan, fucking hook it up with the story again because that shit was gnarly. He was talking about, you know, they're like, fuck, we need it. And there's like an F-16 in the area, and he's like, well, I got shit to do. Sorry. You know, I'm sure he had to refuel. And then the other one, was, you know, another aircraft was like, no can do, no can. And so they were getting a lot of no clears. And there was a B-52 that was just sitting in the sky waiting for shit to do. And he's like, I'll give it a whirl. And they're like, are you sure, bro? And he's like, yeah, where do I got to go? And so he nosedives this B-52, and then just before they're about to just meet any kind of maker they have, pulls it up and then drops the entire gut. The aircraft jumps a good couple hundred feet because of the weight loss, and then he pulls it out, and then I guess the story goes that, like, they fired him and promoted him in the same day and this, that, and the other, and, like, so there's definitely some ballsy-ass pilots out there, for sure, but we could use some more. But also, like, we haven't been coming across that many enemies that have a reasonable air force. And, I mean, like, Russia's got one, but they don't have the fucking gas money for it. That's why they pulled out of the Ukraine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because they are Baroque.
Yeah, see,
Baroque.
a lot of people don't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
Russia doesn't have the money to keep their technology
No.
up to speed and to fight a war against us. They would run out of money in 3 fucking days.
Yeah.
You know,
And
we
all
would
their
fucking
paratroopers would, like, I don't think they'd surrender. I think they'd fight for a couple days. But the paratroopers are, like, the first invasion force would be like, hey, guys, we're just going to shoot past you. But can I live in Burbank? Is that cool? Like, they're starving over there. Their lives suck worse than ours, for sure. And the only reason they're, like, either they love Putin because he's been using Soviet-era socialist brainwashing techniques, or they're terrified of him, so they say they love him because he's got goons everywhere. Because the fucking Russian mob is all like the good thieves. A lot of the good. It's hard to say that there's good thieves, but a lot of good thieves got pushed out by fucking KGB pricks who moved in after the whole curtain thing, and it's a fiasco over there. But anyway, this point here, aim high. What do I mean by this now? That's kind of what I want to consider is like, it didn't really mean shit to me when I enlisted. It wasn't that much of a, it for sure wasn't like I'm signing because they said that. Like, it's amorphous, it's general, but we really do, and this is preposterous. I feel like an asshole saying it, but we really do need to aim high. Holy fuck. And not just like high, like, oh, I hope you have a better day. Like, get me the fuck off this planet. Get us out of here. Or fix it. Or end nuclear war. Or give yourself a goal that is preposterous. A goal that is 10,000 years long. A goal that is so intense and so important you have to pass it on to somebody else. So they have to follow through with it. So that there is a future to look forward to. Because that's why so many people are bummed. And, okay, why would a kid, the school shooting question, oh, because there's all these guns. Fuck you. Yeah, it makes it easier to facilitate that kind of behavior if they're more available. That's true. But the concern shouldn't be the facilitation of the behavior. It should be that behavior and that intent to begin with. And it's because you've told this kid all they have left to look forward to is a job, a kid, and a casket. And if they're lucky, maybe an early casket. And so by the time they're 13, they're so fucking disillusioned with life that they're going down on shotguns and fucking throwing them at their buddies. Like, holy shit. What are we training them for in school? We get these kids coming through. And sure, we'll put the stripes on them and we'll throw them out there, but they're not ready. They're not. They want to be too. It's in them. Everybody wants to be, you know what I mean. How do I articulate it a little bit better? Should be something I learn how to do, Each of us has the ability to be fascinating. Something remarkable. Each of us is built on the same template as the critter that invented the A-bomb and the cure for cancer. JK. But we're working on it. And computers and bronze swords and who the fuck knows? You're a human being, which is a very powerful start to the day in the grand scheme of things, on this spinning rock screaming around a star, around a black hole, around nothing. Being the smartest monkey in the room is kind of an advantage. And yeah, it's scary at times because you get to feel bonus things and see bonus things and have to consider what that means in relation to you, in relation to the people you love and all those around you. But don't let that jump in your chest prevent you from going as high as you can. Don't let anyone cut your dream short. And be careful with your dreams. Don't have dumb dreams. But don't let anyone tell you your dreams are dumb. Fucking figure it out. Try everything twice. Aim higher than you are now. Maybe that's how they should have put it in the poster. If your head's looking down, maybe just poke it up a little bit and see what that does. Just that little bit of perspective. If you're, worried about, I gotta get an A in this class, stop. You're gonna be a doctor. Fuck this class. You'll get an A in this class because you need to know this shit in order for you to be a doctor. This is important shit for doctors, and you're going to be a goddamn doctor, so you're going to know this, so that's why you're here. Don't worry about it. You fuck A's and B's and C's. Like, you're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Do things for the right reasons, and the right shit comes. All the stacks of medals and bullshit we've got strapped to our chests. And I mean, it's... Boys, you know what I'm talking about. And gals, I need to be... But the gals know that when we say boys, we mean them too. Because those chicks are dudes, dude. And those dudes are chicks sometimes, hey. We get weird in the military. We don't give a fuck. We don't care what's in your britches as long as you can fucking have a teachable attitude and break your soul against the shoals of the unknown horror. But I think Polly Boy has gone to bed, and that's probably a good idea. It's 04:30 on St. Patrick's Day of all days. Oh, like you needed that. Alright, I love you guys. I mean it. I don't know you. But I wouldn't have gone through that fucking bullshit if I didn't love you. Same thing for Paul. And we wouldn't do anything if we didn't love you guys. So, and whoever you are. As sick as you are, as beautiful as you are. I know. Just be you. It's above my head here. I'll close it out with a quote. Maybe that'll be a thing, you know. Or maybe it won't. I'll probably forget. But Oscar Wilde said, be yourself. Because everyone else is taken. We don't need your mom. We don't need your dad. We don't need your uncle. We don't need a repeat or a copy of the same bullshit we've had for generations and generations and generations. One great thing about
we're just
being
kind of
American
getting to
is
know
we
each other.
escaped what our parents were.
And
we have the right to escape what our family was. We don't belong to that heritage. We don't belong to that
the
history.
definition, the 4 factors,
We
and
cut
the
loose
11
from it
principles.
ages ago. And we can cut loose from it now. And we can cut loose from it.
I don't want to get in the way of that.
We can thank them
A
for
bit of a wheeze
what they gave us.
from the
And be
delightful
grateful for
tar I
what
got
they
caught
gave
in my
us.
lungs from
And
super
blue
blue
have a little
cookies.
pity for what they didn't know. But we can always move the fuck on. 'Cause
Energy.
if you remember from earlier, there's a real war at hand.
So, you know what? I can just draw on this board like this.
And it's
See?
about to
Hi.
get nasty
Hello.
quick. So, do your best. Have a great one. Set good goals for yourself. Purpose, motivation, and direction. Get good sleep. Otherwise, you're going to look like me. And we'll see what kind of craziness happens between now and then. Right, buddy? Right. Bye. Ba-da-ba-ba-da.